Hey, I'm still going into the Lockdown Golf podcast.
Man,
it's been how long since we've done one of those? It's been forever. Episode 43 of That Range Life, a show is sometimes about golf. You know what it is, Chris? You know what it is?
What?
You aren't at your place. I'm not wearing a hat.
Also true.
Things are all messed up right now.
Why aren't you wearing a hat?
Don't know.
Oh.
Just said, you know what, tonight? We'll just see where this thing's been going all quarantine.
Yeah.
And
impressive.
It is, and it goes like all the way back. All the way. I can't figure out how to show you all of it, but it is the mohawk is long and I'm good with it. So yeah. Tonight we'll just see where it takes us. That's no good. We're making That Range Life episode 43 work because like everybody right now, times are tough. We're surviving however we have to. And you know what? Tonight, we're surviving in a different location for you and no hat for me.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So before we get into all of it and tell you where Chris is, as usual, do us a favor. Go down below.
Somewhere down here.
Subscribe.
I'm using a different camera. I look really strange. I don't know how to do this.
You're good. You're good. Chris is on a webcam as opposed to like his fancy stew set. Hey, remember we used to talk about the stew?
Yeah, I do.
We need to bring that back. Chris is remote, not in the stew. Doesn't have his normal camera set up. But anyway, go down here somewhere, subscribe to his channel, like the video. Hey, Scoob, show everybody how it's done. Let's get a comment in here. Maybe talk about Chris's sick setup. Just saying. And, hey, let us know what you want to hear about in future episodes. We're open to it. We're open to anything. We're in phase 2. We've told you this. This show, open book. We're here for you. Tell us what you want or don't want. We don't care. Whatever. Yeah. We're still going to record the episodes if I'm not mistaken, right? Right.
Yeah.
All right, big show. And by big show, I mean the Masters, as we're recording this, finished today. So we're probably going to talk about that out of obligation, if anything else. I have some favorites for Gear Talk today. One of my lifelong, when I say lifelong, golf internet lifelong favorites we're going to talk about, in addition to our good friend Adam Unfiltered, a product he introduced me to. So we're going to talk about that in Gear Talk. Like I said, the Masters. And Chris, you know how I roll around these parts. Literally right before I texted you, hey, let's go, I'm ready to do the show, and I think you're already waiting for me, I got an eBay steal that we're going to talk about tonight on the show. All right?
Great.
All right. With that said, let's get into Gear Talk, okay? Chris, for Gear Talk tonight, I don't even know where I want to start. I'm going to start. We're going to ease into this. I'm going to start with a company called Kentwool. Have you ever heard of Kentwool?
I believe they make things to cover your feet.
Socks. Kentwool socks. Now, to be fair, they make other products, but my God, dude. I was first introduced to this brand maybe 2020, 2014 or so, 2015, give or take. And so I'm like, yeah, whatever. Socks are socks. I have everybody has their preferred socks. And then when it comes to golf, maybe, and you and I have actually had this debate where you're like, oh, these shoes hurt my ankles. Oh, I'm like, well, wear a different sock, bro. You'll be fine. And you're like, shut up.
Exactly how I sounded when I said it too.
This is verbatim how the conversation went. It's like we recorded it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they're cool. And I got my one free pair, and I was like, all right, I'm a golf media guy. Let me check it out. I was like, whew, these are no joke. Since that introduction, at that time, I literally went through all my drawers, Nike socks, Stance socks, you name it, threw them all out, got rid of all of them.
Wow.
I 100% wear only Kentwool socks. Now they have different models, different sizes, cuts, whatever, right? Depending on your preferences. And they're primarily made, depending on which ones you get, made of merino wool. They're a little thick, a little on the thick side, but it's not overwhelming. You still fit in your shoes just fine.
Okay.
So the problem is you put them on and you go, oh, these are going to be a little hot. Nope. If there's one thing they'll tell you, merino wool is sort of like a natural smart wool in nature. Thus the word I used, natural. So in the summer,
Gotcha.
I still wear the same pairs of socks. Don't get hot because it's natural merino wool. Okay.
Interesting.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's fantastic. And then the best part is, right, everyone's like, oh, we put padding in our socks, whatever. They do the same thing, but it's not super thick. It's just thick enough where you don't start getting a ton of friction on your foot. Let me ask you a question, Chris. What happens when you get friction on your foot? Do you know?
I have no idea. Never even heard of that.
Blisters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never gotten a blister on my foot, so
Really?
never.
I figure with all the high heels you wear, at least you get some blisters. Just I kid.
Oh, that's funny.
I kid. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Just kidding. But that's like a big thing, right? So
okay,
where
sure, yeah.
Kentwool was born out of was actually caddies being like, hey man, I walk around, our feet get hot, the moisture in them over all the hours, and then our rubbing around in our shoes, we get really bad blisters. So Kentwool with this merino wool, it's like I said, it's a natural temperature controlling fiber, but then between the padding and then it's, again, speaking of natural tendencies of this fiber, it also is it's naturally moisture wicking, so you don't have like a soaked foot just getting trashed in your shoe, right? No blisters. No blisters. It's fantastic. So
That's
anyway,
pretty nice.
it's one of those things like,
now,
hey, go ahead.
Do they? It's not necessarily like a golf sock. It's like socks for any time. They just happen to be good for walking a few miles on a golf course.
Exactly. And I think that's a good point because when they first came out, it was like, oh, we're a golf brand. And if you go read their About Us or whatever it's labeled on their website, it talks about it came out of the founder of the company saying, hey, listen, I'm a big golf guy. And he was playing in a pro-am and the guy was going on and on about like, had some conversation with a caddy or somebody about why socks are so bad. And the guy, and he owned this wool company and he said, gotcha. You own a wool company, make a better sock then, dude. And he went, all right. And he did. He made Kentwools. So to your point, so I got him like, oh, like my golf socks. I'm a big deal golfer. I need to have all the best stuff and make sure I'm really
specific socks.
Yeah, these are my golf socks, Chris.
Right.
Fast forward, it's all I wear. Anytime. Yeah. I mean, during coronavirus, I probably just crossed the threshold of amount of times I could count how I've worn socks on two hands, right? I've just probably passed that threshold. I never wear socks right now.
Yeah.
Except aside from golf. But
yeah, right.
It's like I wasn't kidding. I threw out every sock I owned and just went all Kentwool. Like they're that good in your everyday life.
Yeah.
They do make like other models that are thinner, dress socks, like hiking, you name it. But I'm not.
Do they make the no-shows? Because I love the no-shows.
Not the no-shows. Like, well, you must not have any, but like low cut with your shoe line per se.
Okay, that's what. Those are. I call those, I guess, no-shows. But like, yeah.
Well, this day and age, it's gotten weird. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do have socks specifically for Chucks, so that I can wear my Chucks.
And your feet probably stink. Get some. You need some Kentwools. Maybe shoot them a note and be like, "Look, I need to get some new cuts." Anyway, we have a review up this week on drivingheroes.com of Kentwool socks. There's really a lot to them. They're fantastic. I swear by them. Check them out. That's all I can say.
All right.
That's a little longer than I was planning on talking about a pair of socks, but they're good. Check them out. I'm going to move on to another piece of equipment that my first exposure came to from our good friend Adam Unfiltered of golfunfiltered.com.
That's right.
We played a round of golf together. God, that's got to be like 2 months ago now, give or take. Mm-hmm. And I've seen his golf bag a few times via social medias, I've never seen it in person. And it's a bag from a company called Minimal, but it's spelled M as in Mike, N as in natural, M as in Mike, L as in Leo. Okay? Minimal golf bags. I'm weird about golf bags, right? I'm a big like utilitarian golf bag, but I also like a little flash, right? And Sun Mountain's always been my
It's
brand
true.
that balances that well. Like makes a statement, but it is a tool of the trade, man. It is a tool of the trade.
Right.
And being the gear dork that I am, I like walk up to the first tee, AUF's got one on his push cart. Okay, cool. And I look at it. I'm like, yeah, it looks good. It's fine. But I don't, I know he has this bag, so I don't pay particular notice. And it was like probably the third or the fourth tee. Old buddy reaches into this side pocket and pulls out his cell phone attached to the cable. I'm like, what's going on there, bro? And he tells me about it. I'm like, so now I'm like looking at his bag and I go, I knew it had a technology component to it, but like that's kind of cool that it's like a retractable cable. That's
like right
neat.
Into like the top part of the bag. Yeah,
no, that's really the one for the one you're talking about is for the Bluetooth speaker at the top, which depending on your input for charging capabilities, you could plug anything in there. Let's pause and go to that for a second. Yeah, right at the top, they have their own Bluetooth speaker, which someone said, I actually talked about this bag today, and someone's like, well, a lot of people do Bluetooth. Like, what's the big deal there? And I go, yes, a Bluetooth speaker attached to a golf bag isn't so innovative. I'm not telling you it is, but they got their own made. It's small, it's lightweight. Sounds pretty good. I'm not telling you like I confuse it for my JBL that I use at my house, but
of course, right.
When you can kind of see it here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like the size of and lighter than a hockey puck. And they Velcro on, but there's a cable. Awesome. So if you're out of battery on this thing, just plug it in. You have this solar battery pack to keep it powered up. Now, all this stuff you can plug in
too.
Well, and other brands have had that before, but like, I mean, this thing's like wafer thin. It's like as thin as an iPhone, a little longer. And
I feel like for yours, yours has the charging, right? The solar power piece of it.
We'll put pictures in the
bag. It blends into the bag really well.
Right. And that's
like, it's not like it jumps out or anything. It looks awful.
Well, and the big thing to keep in mind here, this is supposed to be a minimalist golf bag, hence the name Minimal, right? And it's a common trend right now. Lightweight, easy to carry. You're not putting a bunch of junk inside of it. The bare minimum. Mm-hmm. And I want to say the tagline for me here is like the minimalist golf bag for the modern golfer. You need your phone. You got to look, dude, you got to capture those Insta stories. You have to do it. You have to listen to
the rule for us.
It's a rule. You have to listen to your weird, bad 70s, 80s, 90s, like power pop
also
metal.
True.
Which in the review that you can check out at drivingheroes.com, I talk about that a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed this trend, but it's like the majority of people listening to Bluetooth on the course is probably like your age group and a little bit older. And it's like, oh, you're listening to Rat. Oh, you got Quiet Riot.
Whoa, that's not my age. Those are the 80s kids.
You're right, but you're like the tail end of it. You're like what I am to Gen Xers, where it's like, while I'm a millennial, I had the hint of an older sibling. Like, so same thing. Like,
I am the old sibling now.
But if you had older sibling, like I'm just saying you're the bottom end of that possibility in a generation is all I'm saying.
Yes. I've been young, but I didn't really like, I saw Loverboy in concert, Quiet Riot opened for them. And it was an awesome show.
But case in point, do you ever notice that when you're out there?
Rat ain't it, man.
Well, I feel like I'm only making my point there. But it's like that's like the majority of the groups you run into blaring their Bluetooth is that, like, oh, you got Journey's greatest hits going. Awesome. You know what I mean? And I will say, for the record, I enjoy there's two people I think who play some pretty good YouTube. We're on YouTube, Bluetooth music. You and Tommy O'Connell from our site. Like I even mentioned Tommy in the review. I'm like, it's refreshing when I play them. Like, oh, this is pretty good. It's not some like, I'm choosing words wisely. I'll just say it's not some poor music of the generation where I'm like, you are possibly doing some awkward cultural assimilation that you're just trying to fit in with something. And like, you can't even tell me this is good, because if you want to go to the roots of what you're listening to, they would roll over and be furious about what you're listening to. Anyway,
I get you. Yeah.
He has good music. I appreciate that. Yeah. But anyway, so they have a nice built-in Bluetooth. Like I said, you can take all the electronics out easily, charge it before you leave, so you don't have that issue. And really, just your phone has to suck that solar power the whole time. But
yeah,
it's still a lightweight bag. You're not stuffing all your rain gear, 1,000 golf balls in it. It's a minimalist walking bag. Okay, they have all the pockets magnetic seams, so you don't have zippers. And think about it, if you have a golf bag for a long time, all of a sudden your zippers start tearing off, they separate. And I've had many a golf bag go bad on me because of zippers, right? Never an issue. You'll never have that with this bag. Just a strong magnet the whole width of a seam. It's fantastic.
That's dope, man. That's amazing. I didn't realize that. That's enough for me right there.
Well, and same thing when you see Adam like pulling the tab on the thing and pulling out a golf bag. Like, wait, what sorcery are you committing right now?
What just happened? Yeah.
Right. So that's awesome. Now, like I said, it's a minimalist bag. No, like they don't have an apparel pocket. So you're not stuffing your rain gear in there, 1,000 extra gloves. Like it's supposed to be, throw some balls in, some tees in, your driver wrench, valuables pouch. And then they have another pocket on, as you're looking at the spine, the left side. It's a fully lined cooler pocket. You can fit a whole 6-pack in with ease.
Well, that's important.
And keep it cold.
It's important.
And then they have I noticed this feature, investigating it too close, 2 little holes on the bottom. So like, as you know, you have cold beverages in there, they start sweating, and you start getting like that moisture buildup, drains out the bottom, air flows through, so you don't get a moldy pocket.
Yeah.
Which is, go look at a lot of cooler pockets, they can get moldy because they don't breathe. These breathe. It's fantastic. So
awesome.
I don't know if you've ever done this. You add a 6-pack of anything in your bag, that adds a lot of weight. That's good news on this thing. You have a solar pack with 2 USB ports into it. You have a 6-pack of beer. This bag, well, take out the 6-pack of beer or soda, whatever, right? Anything you want to keep cool. The bag comes in less than 5 pounds. So even if you threw a 6-pack and a 6-pack of beer in there, it's still plenty easy to carry. The only thing I don't like, and I can't remember if I have a picture of it in the review, at least in the carousel at the bottom, the strap. Let's see if I can turn this for you. Attaches to the handle on the the spine handle. I don't love that. It's a backpack strap. The middle point's on that strap. I don't love that. It's not a deal breaker.
Interesting.
I want to be clear. Yeah. Not a deal breaker. You'll live. But that's a little interesting. Now, we'll put pictures again in the video, but you can see this logo here. When I saw Adams, I went, okay, they print these onto the bag somehow or whatever, right? It's a machine made thing. Nope. They're like, send us the artwork. They have this guy, Hitoshi, in a studio in California who hand paints all of the graphics on their bags. They're like minimal logos embroidered on, but he does everything by, and I sent me this video, everything by hand. And you'll see again in the pictures you post, like our logo on this thing is dead on. And the dude's, like pinstripe, it's just perfect. And I go, well, this is a whole different ballgame. Now, I don't know how important that is to people, right? Like, oh, well, I got a hand painted logo on my bag. But when you have one, there's a certain element of it's just cool. It's just cool. And the guy's obviously like beyond talented. I mean, it's amazing work. And I thought my logo is sort of complicated, but then I went on. I can't remember if it was in the video or going through the gallery. His work's just incredible. Hand painting all of these logos. So it's an interesting like.
If you're going to get a bag personalized, that's the way to go, man. Then
you have
a one of one.
It's very much like a go big or go home thing. It's not, they're not cheap. The quality is great, but like cost wise, they're not cheap. But I think of like everybody with their Stitch bags and their vessels, like the big trendy one right now, right? Yeah. It's like, or you could, if you're like, oh, look, I'm the cool, like I got a Sugarloaf bucket hat on, check me out. And you want a cool, like a cool, trendy, minimalist walking golf bag. Like this is it. This is a 2020 walking golf bag. It's fantastic. I have no idea how much use I'll get out of it next season. Cause I don't know, just even from, let me lean over here. Even from that, if anyone understands I have a golf bag problem, but like it is it's just cool as shit. There's no other way to put it. It's just cool. I understand it'd be like, oh, my 45-year-old ping hoofer is good for me. Great. But if you're like, man, I want a cool walking golf bag that's just different. I can listen to music, charge my phone, throw a few sodas in it. The minimal bag is it. It's it.
Get a personalized logo, hand painted. That's the one.
I mean, I don't know how this guy. I don't know how he does it. Like everything looks. It had to be done by a robot,
right?
And it's some dude. I'm assuming just based on the looks of the things. Some dude in SoCal just really good with a paintbrush. And I might kill a human to have that.
That's awesome though.
It's so good. Shout out to Adam Unfiltered for showing me the way of this bag and putting me in touch with these guys. This thing's fantastic. It's awesome. I'm so pumped to have it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's gear talk this week. Okay.
So, William, we have to, it's obligatory for any golf show after today of recording. It's Sunday as we record the show. We have to discuss the major or the Masters. Otherwise, they will cancel our show, even though it's on YouTube.
I've seen the documents telling us we're done and we don't talk about it. I've seen them.
Right. But I will say, I had very mixed emotions. One, I'm going to say this about the Masters in November. It was fine. I think I still prefer it in April. But the biggest difference to me, and I think the reason that I watched today, I watched all Thursday through Sunday, the no patrons thing really made it feel boring, like kind of flat. Like it was really like today, there was no real drama necessarily. There's a little bit, but like you didn't hear anything anywhere. It was really strange.
I thought this was going to be a 3-second segment. I can already feel you texting me about how this show's too long. 2 comments. One, I loved it without the patrons. And and they made a few comments throughout the week, and there's probably more than I realized because I was in and out of the coverage.
Yeah.
Without having grandstands, without having people, you saw different angles and different parts of the property.
Yes. And 100% agreed. I did love that.
The people yelling and screaming like, oh, mashed potatoes, oh, blah, blah, blah. Shout out Howard Stern. I love Howard Stern.
They don't do that at the Masters. You do that at the Masters, you're gone, man. They don't do that.
They still do it. But like
they don't.
My point being,
but okay.
Fans, patrons have zero impact on my TV viewing experience. I get if I go to the Ryder Cup and they're all there chanting and singing, like, yeah, there's something to be said. But being able to see more golf, more of the course, etc., like I'm in for that. So
I did enjoy that for sure.
And I mean, that's been me the whole year. I have not minded no fans. Now, if it means the golfers play worse, because that's a whole thing that's been talked about for months, the golfers are playing worse because of no fans. Like, well, bring the fans back. I want to see the best golf. Well, minus coronavirus. You know what I'm saying?
See, well, I think it's funny because like the Bryson DeChambeau lost ball on Friday.
Yeah,
maybe
it's Friday.
Where he lost it in clear view.
I'm still furious about that.
If there were fans, they would have found it.
As an
So I feel like,
anti-Bryson person, I'm still furious about that because, I mean, look, you and I have even played where we're like, you lost that ball in wide open space. Whether you want to call it Lee Trevino rule, Jack Nicklaus rule. If somebody was here, that ball would be seen. And this is where I fall into like that. That's not a case of, it's not even just a case of no fans. Hey, if you're not going to have fans and this is a risk, if you're going to grow your rough long enough, you can lose a ball in clear space. You need to like quadruple your marshals on the hole. Like I'm not a Bryson guy.
That's why I was okay with it. I'm like, that's a shame. That's a shame.
He got screwed by that in zero. Like it's unfair. I think
to me, it's golf. It's just golf karma. Like if you want to try to overpower golf courses with golf your big, protein-filled head, and you're going to try to hit it 1 billion miles, then guess what? No one's going to find your golf ball.
Karma and rulings are two different things. I'm a big karma guy. Yeah, Bryson, this is life coming back. Personally, I think it was Jason Sobel retweeted his thing about how he has like 7 to 8 of these protein shakes a day. Like, no wonder you don't feel good. You poisoned yourself.
Right.
You've been poisoning yourself for 10 months. Like you can get too much of certain, minerals and things in your body.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you I'm a specimen of health, but like, yeah, no kidding. This like could have some adverse effect on you. I firmly believe he doesn't have coronavirus and came back negative with clear symptoms. I also firmly believe he's going to like start calcifying his insides with his diet.
No doubt.
So golf karma, I'm with you for sure. But in terms of like, like night and day rulings here, it's BS. And throw 2 more marshals. You got to have a marshal on like every quarter of the hole, even if only on one side of it. I think he got screwed, and that was a bullshit ruling. That said, I'm with you. I wasn't like, oh darn, Bryson. Oh.
not to one of the good guys.
Yeah. Oh shucks. But so I'm with you in that like April with fans is better. I enjoyed it not having fans. And I have to say this to you. Think about this time of year in a normal golf season. It's a silly season, right? We're getting the weird like,
yeah.
Hey, this is happening down in like Punta Cana
championship, right?
Yeah,
right.
And maybe you might be in the middle of the Asian swing. I don't know, right? But as I'm watching this, I think, all right, so we've had the Masters at Augusta since like 1934 or something like that, right? And then you have this new women's amateur tournament that's sick. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I feel like they need some tournament at Augusta National in the fall. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a PGA tournament. Maybe the Ryder Cup comes there every few cycles. I don't know. But I'm like,
yeah.
Augusta in the fall gives you, and maybe it's just being desperate for something during coronavirus, but man, does that not give you a kick in the ass that feels good? Like what?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so nice to have that this time of year.
For sure. Absolutely. There's I don't know there's any other sporting event that makes me want to go do what I'm watching. Like when we were kids, my brothers and I would watch a baseball game. We want to go play baseball. We watch a football game. We want to go play football. Watching the Masters makes me want to play golf so bad. And I think that's why I prefer it in April, because we're not doing it now.
No, you and I don't prefer that. I feel like we talked about on this show, because what happens is we start going out as soon as it like the least bit of snow melts and it's 34 degrees outside. I'm like, all right, we can golf now. And then the Masters hits. We've been golfing for 2 months. The Masters hits, everybody comes out. But I know, like, all jokes aside, right? That is a thing. Sure. The Masters happens, and you can just see all of us, like, literally that weekend, the drive range is packed. The tee sheet starts filling up. Yeah. The Masters tells people, all right, go ahead, start golfing.
Right. It's pretty fun. All right, let's talk about the winner.
Dustin. So, I mean, it's been interesting because everybody's been like, hey, I'm not a Dustin guy either. Hey, he fell down the stairs. Oh, him and Paulina. Take it easy. This was inevitable. This guy is probably, I know, it's been Rory, it's been Speed. Pick your name. Dustin has clearly been this era's like closest thing to a dominant golfer of Tiger Woods, right? So they made some, the stat how he's won at least one tournament every year since he's been on tour. And it said he's 36 years old today. And I went, wait a minute. I remember talking about how impressive this was, and he wasn't even 30 yet.
Yeah.
Like, God, he's been doing this a long time. So like he was going to, what major it was, I'm not sure. But like, have you ever thought Dustin Johnson wouldn't, don a green jacket, you were crazy. Yeah. And I've had a few texts today that people are very dissatisfied with it. And I'm like, I wouldn't tell you I'm like, oh, my guy Ian Poulter won. I feel just as, hey, shout out these bags here. I'm just as excited about it. But like, he played excellent golf. He broke a record in scoring. I mean, I understand if you believe the rumors or whatever where Dustin's not your guy, but like, how do you hate on it? The guy's he's incredible. I get he's boring. I get he's a little like, what did Nick Faldo say? Nick Faldo said something today about like the tone of his voice and the way he goes about things might not appeal to people. It was really awkward. I'm like, what he's trying to say in so many words is like sort of doofiness, for lack of a better term.
That's fair. Yeah.
Doesn't appeal to people. And I'm like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you really got into any of these guys, there's something about them that's not going to appeal to you. It's just not.
I think Brooks Koepka has deep thoughts on anything. Give me a break.
Well played. But like, in a way, I stopped and thought, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually, good. I'm glad. All right, good. He's got his US Open. He's got his Masters. This is going to be the guy from one of the major guys from our era. Let's go. Let's finish this. Let's keep going here, Dustin. I'm glad you got it. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And like, anybody complains, I admittedly it was a drama-free Sunday, but the guy put on a clinic this week. And so it's funny. I have this very casual, unceremonious, ceremonial, whatever you pick, bet I do with my uncle every like important tournament. So it'd be your TPC Sawgrass, your majors, your FedEx Cup stuff. And we were saying like, hey, if it gets to a point where he's running away with this, cancel the bet. It's over. Like, who cares? And we'll figure out. And I'm the commissioner, so I already had like what our plans were for next year. But I set the number and I texted you and Adam Unfiltered. I go, what's the number? And I thought it was 5 under. Well, Dustin only got to, it was 5. It was 5 ahead, right? He only got to 4 ahead of the pack. And sure enough, in that front 9, it got close. And my uncle texts me. He's like, man, you made the right call. This is close. And then I knew it's like, as long as he stayed ahead, getting through the front 9, he would just go to town on the back 9. And he did.
Yeah,
he did. It wasn't control. It was drama free.
I think there was like a McElroy like bump, like a blip where he, like the front, he birdied the first 2 out of 3 holes or something. They're like, oh, here goes McElroy. And then he bogeyed the one on and whatever. I think it was 6 or 7 or something. And then we're like, nope, not going to happen.
So may have been drama free, but it was awesome. Nobody said when Tiger won in 97 by 12 strokes, it was drama free. Like, right. It was good golf. It was like, he murdered people, but it is what it is. Like, it was cool. It was cool to see Cameron Smith and Sung Jae Im not, get tied for second. And it wasn't Justin Thomas. It wasn't Rory. It wasn't Tiger. It was like, who are these guys?
Watching Cameron Smith just grind the shit out of that round too, man. That dude was working hard just to keep at 11 or 12 under.
Well, but they say I heard them say how when Adam Scott won, it was such an impression on him. He was watching all of it, and his scored it. Him and Sung Jae Im They had better scores today than Adam Scott when he won, and they weren't even close to sniffing the win.
Right.
So they beat Adam Scott's winning, and obviously, like, I'm so the conditions would have, like, I know, I get it, okay, I get it.
Like, everyone's playing the same course in the same conditions, though. That's the thing.
And Dustin Johnson shot, was it -19 or -20?
-20.
He shot -20. All right, it is what it is. They did it.
Right.
I've shot under par one round. I've done that before, but I've never strung 4 days straight to be 20 under over 72 holes, let alone at a major championship.
Right. At Augusta National.
Get out of
Crazy.
Here. So but
I actually, it was fun to listen to him. Did you see the Amanda Balionis interview?
It's so good. And I didn't make a note because I didn't want to get into it. She's the best. I love Amanda Balionis. Yeah. I love her because she's like, don't apologize. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, she did a really good job of she did a really good job of letting the interview breathe, which is hard.
Yeah.
Because it can be awkward a little bit because, like, this guy's going through this thing internally, and like, you're gonna, like, it's very, like,
think about it,
when do you know
Dustin,
what to ask next?
Think about if you're like, Dustin too. You're probably so tired of everybody telling you, like, you're the big dumb galoof. You're an idiot. You're a partier.
For sure.
Oh, you're just Paulina's little husband. Oh, the great one. Like, for him, I know he's won a U.S. Open and he's won plenty of golf, but there's a certain element of, like, there's so many people painting this picture of me, and I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, to be here, it validates me to some extent. Stop talking about me like I'm some douchebag.
I think there's a lot of that. I think, well, yeah, he may be a horrible human, but I think that it also speaks to what the Masters really means to these guys.
Well, especially if you're from the South, and I don't mean that like, oh, Confederacy. I heard that come out of my mouth, but like, he grew, like, they kept talking about how he grew up in that area. Yeah. That's a thing.
75 miles away or something. Yeah.
She's so good. Like, she's so good. She
really is. She's impressive.
I'm not a.
It's amazing too that she started out like she was with Callaway, which seems so odd because she's so good at what she's doing now. Like, it seems like she would have grown up in that.
I feel like what happened there, Callaway identified it and grabbed her, and that was a case of, like, everybody else was sleeping, and Callaway's like, "Oh, you're good at this. Hey, come do stuff for us." And then some, CBS or insert whoever came knocking down the doors, like, "Hey, sorry we missed you. Come on board."
Yeah, for sure.
We are long time noted big fans of her. Even her social media, like, I am not trying to pat us on the back. I feel like we go with the approach of trying to humanize all of this and not be like raging golf dorks. And that's where I feel like she succeeds so much. She can go deep golf nerd, but she humanizes it. And I felt like her interview with Dustin was like a regular person talking to him, getting the perspective that a person would get talking to him, not like, "Oh, I'm on TV interviewing you. Oh, hey."
Right.
Now if we really wanted to go deep, I thought she was doing, I don't know what cabin it was in, but she would do those like post round interviews all week.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it or is it not social distance? Like, why are we even pretending at this point? I'm not really sure. She did those all week and they were all good. She's so good at her job.
It's true.
And I feel like Dustin, it was great because Dustin seemed like more of a human. She, I don't know that's because of her. I don't know which led to what, because that's not what I do for a living.
Right.
She was fantastic. I thought it was like, this was the most human he's ever seemed to me. Most normal person. And I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. You nailed it. Great point on Amanda Balionis. Can I point out one more thing about the Masters before we shut it down here?
Yeah, sure.
I have two things, and I know you're mad the show's going too long as usual. We'll figure it out one day. Paulina's jacket, I pulled up pictures as soon as I could to show my wife. Paulina's jacket could not be pulled off by everyone, but was awesome. Did you catch it?
I didn't see it. I did not see it.
Green, white, and black Adidas jacket, right? Okay, Masters. She's leaning into the Masters green theme.
Sure.
But you know what it was?
Right.
If you go look, it was like the classic signature Adidas snap pants cut up and made into a jacket.
Really?
And you could like see, some parts is just like one button, like right here, or right here. But then on the back, it might be like a stretch of them. It was awesome. And my wife and I were like, this is that key, like you look at it and go, yeah, I need that jacket, and you just can't pull it off. But she's like, she can, she pulls off everything. But the jacket was sick. And I don't know if it's an Adidas offering, Adidas, if you will.
She may have been fitted for that jacket.
It was
specifically.
Paulina feelings aside for anybody watching the show. The jacket itself from Adidas was fantastic. And don't tell me you don't remember the old days of like, hey, I'm a basketball player. Rip off your
100%. I would wear those right now if they made them, if I could pull them off.
Yeah, it was the best. So
they're dope, man. They're super dope.
That jacket, I hope it gets the credit it deserves in the following days here. It was awesome. Just so good. All right, so that's Masters talk. We spent a lot more. God, the show got long. Real quick before we shut it down. You know what? No, I'll just save it. I got a good iron story. We'll save it for next show, okay?
That's right. Oh God, no.
It's fine. It's fine.
No,
hey,
it's
sorry,
it's
Bob.
a mess.
Sorry, Bob. Your dad swears.
It's the first time he's ever heard it.
First time. He's never done it before.
Yeah.
In front of him.
Let's talk about your eBay find next episode.
Okay. Don't let me forget, because I will forget.
No, I won't, because I want to hear about it.
I will point this out. God, this ring light.
Oh, hey, yeah, your button. The buttons have arrived. There you go. That looks good. I love those. Those are great, man.
He makes fun of them.
Is that a ball marker?
No, it is a pin. So Chris makes fun of it every time, but like I get these emails for promotional materials, and pins, man, are the best giveaway. The best, like, hey, just toss to somebody, and they're cheap. You can get them very modestly priced. So I got one this week, and I said, a 1.5-inch circle. I know a logo that would go real well with that range life. A show sometimes about golf. We got pins, guys.
It's very exciting.
That's a handful of them. I dropped one.
When we go to the PGA show in 2022, we'll be handing them out.
Yeah, I'm never going to that show ever. I've decided. Formal decision being made. But maybe if you're real nice to us in the comments, Chris might send you one. He might do it.
Sure. I'll do that. Why not?
See how I signed you up for it?
I got time.
Look, Chris has got time. All right. But yeah, we got pins. I don't know. Comment. Maybe we'll send you one. I know that's something worth it. That'll get you excited for this show, if nothing else.
Why not? Yeah.
We're resorting to shitty pins to draw in an audience and engage them. Just want to point that out too. Whatever it takes. Work. We're not too proud.
It'll work. Nope. God, no. Jeez.
No, we're definitely not too proud. All right, guys. Chris on location. We didn't even get into it. Well, maybe we'll save it for. Will you next Sunday still be on location?
I should be home by then.
That's me knocking on wood for you.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to say I'm kind of jealous. Like, this is awesome. I envy you.
It is pretty nice.
I hope once my son 4.
It is pretty nice.
All right, 14 years from now, if another global pandemic comes our way, me and my son got a quarantine together. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, not a bad way of spending 2 weeks, in a cool neighborhood.
You guys are doing your own joint. So wait, you've been doing this for a whole week.
Yeah.
What kills me is, ladies and gentlemen, Chris texted me on Saturday. We record on Sundays to go, by the way, don't know if I'm going to be able to do a show tomorrow. I don't have my gear. Like, he didn't see this coming. But he told me yesterday. Told me yesterday.
I did.
You and I talked pretty much about every day.
It's true.
And even just from like a hey friend perspective, like, oh, isn't it crazy? Dude, get this. You know what? I'm going to bring this up right now as a show we need to end the show. I talk normal life with Chris much more than he does with me. I'm just saying
it's true. I don't find it that interesting. Like, I don't find my stuff that interesting.
Well, we're friends.
That's really what it comes down to. It's not just you. It's not just you. It's like, I don't do that with anybody.
You just
like right now, my family doesn't know that I'm in quarantine.
You're a secretive person.
Like Scotty's going to watch this and be like, what?
Well, Scotty's like spitting in other people's mouths out in Arizona. That's just what they do.
I haven't sent them a text to congratulate them for turning the state blue yet.
I was just going to say, hey, Scotty, shout out for the flip, bro. Hey, our show just got political. Good time to wrap it up. Chris, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you soon post clearing your quarantine. Give my best to Robert. I hope you guys get a couple more good pizzas this week. You're in pizza mecca in that area.
We kind of are.
Go get them.
We kind of are.
Go get them. All right, bro. All right, everybody. That's that Range Life episode 43. We'll see you next week.